Hi, so we're going to talk about what's due this week, starting with the remix assignment. Okay, so tonight, though, actually, I lied. Tonight, you have a discussion due. So remember, what I've asked you to do is have your thread that you're creating, your discussion posts, posted by midnight tonight. And then it's going to lock. But then what I will do is I will unlock the discussion and I will give you until the end of the week to get your comments posted. And so this is a new thing I'm trying. I'll probably, if it works, continue doing it for your other discussions in the future. So moving on from that, on Friday, although I posted in the news that, of course, Friday is a holiday. So I'm actually giving you until the end of the holiday weekend to get this completed. So it's still going to show in the calendar as due on Friday, but you don't have to hand it in until the night before you come back to school. Okay. So this is your remix. So if I go to Unit 2, Activity 3, we're talking in this activity about the concept of remixes. And so I posted these two videos. I posted Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie and Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby. And I had you guys think about whether or not Ice Ice Baby is something original or is it a ripoff. Then there was the concept map assignment, which remember is not being marked, but I wanted to have you guys do it to get you to think carefully about this concept of creativity and how it happens, because that is going to help you do your remix, which you're working on this week. So if you didn't do your concept map, you're not losing any marks for it, but I would still strongly urge you to do it for your own learning. Okay, so scrolling down. I have these 3 videos. And these 3 videos are from the podcast series, Everything is a Remix, which is basically if you had a textbook and I was having you do readings for the course, these would be the important readings that you needed to do in order to understand the concept of remixes. So if you haven't watched them, you need to watch them. Then in this part, we're talking about attribution. And the key idea here is that depending on what type of text you're creating, whether that's something formal like an essay or something more informal like a blog post, there are different accepted methods for attributing sources. So you should still be attributing your sources, even though the way that you do that might be different for a media text than it would be for an essay. Okay. I've given you a whole bunch of suggestions here for tools that you can use without having to be concerned about infringing on copyright. So I've given you a Creative Commons search, Google Advanced Search, where you can actually turn on Creative Commons. For videos, there are different videos that you can choose from here for remixing purposes, images, and music. And so as you guys are creating your remixes and you're looking for original sources to remix, here is a really great list of resources for you to work with. I've also got some resources for you on finding credible sources, which will be something good to come back to a little bit later as well. Now I'm going to go to the assignment area. And what happened there? Oh boy. Okay, so we have a bit of a problem here. Hang on a second. So if you're wondering why I'm pausing here, it's because I just noticed that as I clicked a link that was supposed to take you to the assignment page for Unit 2, Activity 3, it actually took you to the assignment page for something in Unit 4, which is not good. So I'm going to look into that later, but for now, just be aware that what you're working on is Unit 2, Activity 3, Assignment 3, or the assignment page, rather. Okay. So assignment 1 was the concept map. Remember, that was for formative purposes only. It's not being marked. Unit or activity 2 is the remix. So I can't stress this strongly enough. for this assignment, you will create a remix using any type of media you like. You don't have to ask me for permission. So you can use written text, you can use video, you can use music, you can use written text, video, and music. You can use digital text, you can use websites, you can use comics, you can use pictures, anything. Your objective is to demonstrate how you can copy, transform, and combine existing elements to create something original. So that phrase, copy, transform, and combine existing elements, that comes from those videos called Everything is a Remix. So if you don't really understand what I mean by this, you need to go back and rewatch those videos. You must also demonstrate ethical use of material by crediting the sources in whatever way is most appropriate for your chosen medium. So for example, if you are doing this as a video, then you would have credits at the end that list the sources. If you're doing it as a blog post, because you could, then you're going to include hyperlinks. If you're doing it as a written text, then I would expect to see a works cited page at the end. If you're doing a series of pictures that you're combining, then include a separate page that includes the sources as well. So it's up to you. You determine what the most appropriate way to credit the sources would be. Okay. Please note, you are not limited to creating a digital remix. So if you want to do like a old school cut and paste paper collage, you can do that. You're going to have to take a picture of it in order to submit it to me, but that's fine. You just need to make sure that you are combining at least 3 different texts. Now, along with your remix, you are including a brief written explanation of what you have created. So tell me what you did. So I downloaded a movie trailer and I recut it so that it didn't look like a horror movie anymore. It looked like something happy by including some cheerful music that didn't go with the original trailer and by doing a different voiceover or including different credits. So those would be 3 different sources, right? You have either the voiceover or the text, the music, and the movie, and then you're recombining it. There's an example. Okay. Explain what you did and also explain how you have ensured to the best of your ability that you have respected copyright rules and demonstrated ethical behavior with respect to your use of existing sources. So pay attention here that this is what we're really looking for. We're looking for how you demonstrate ethical use of other people's work to create something original. And please pay attention to the checklist. So look at the criteria here. You have to combine at least 3 different media sources. That doesn't mean that you have to have an audio text and a video text and a written text. They could all be 3 different video texts, right? Or you could have a video and 2 musics. Musics is not plural, but whatever. Or you could have 3 different written texts. You can combine that any way you want. That's fine, as long as they are 3 distinct original sources. It needs to be significantly different from the original components. So it wouldn't be enough just to use an existing music video and include a new song, because that's not significantly different. You need to clearly indicate that the sources for your remix, or indicate the sources for your remix in a manner that's appropriate for your chosen medium. And you need to demonstrate originality by creating an overall message or theme that's different from any one of the original components. Okay, so that's these 4 components. That's what you need to be meeting. As long as you are meeting these 4 criteria, you are fine to do whatever you want. So you don't need to email me and ask me permission for doing different things. Just make sure you're meeting this criteria. That's basically it. And then the rubric is here. So do read over the rubric, but the rubric is based on the checklist of assessment criteria. So if you're doing this is just the degree to which you're doing it. Like, how well are you doing it? This is the what, and this is the how well. Okay? That's pretty much it. Now, something to keep in mind is because a lot of these end up being multimedia files, they can be kind of big. So I have a couple suggestions for you. One is, if you are creating a video, upload it to YouTube. I know you may not be too keen on having your schoolwork published publicly. You don't need to do that. You can upload it to YouTube and keep it as a file that's unlisted, and then just send me the link. And then the only person who would actually be able to see it would be you and me. That way you're just giving me a link, so that makes it easy. If you want to share it more publicly, you could post it on your blog and then other people could see it as well. You can upload a file to the Dropbox. It's just that depending on your Wi-Fi connection, it may take a long time. It may be difficult to do. And I don't want you to run into the situation where it's midnight and you've run out of time and your file doesn't upload completely. So you need to test that out beforehand just to make sure that it's going to work. So like I said, you have the entire long weekend to complete this, even though it says that it's due Friday. I mean, just to make it really kosher, what I should do is make it due on Thursday, but I'm not going to change it in the calendar. You guys are all in grade 12. We all have the understanding that, yes, fine, it's due this week, but you can have until the end of the long weekend to complete it. But please don't leave it to the last minute, because this is definitely not an assignment that you can just do in 5 minutes and submit. If you have any more questions about the remix, please make sure that you email me before the end of the day Thursday. I'm not going to be checking email over the long weekend. So any specific questions about your remix, you need to get to me this week. That's all.